And I want to say a few words about how this connects with Network for Progress in terms of what we can do as an advocate, I feel, to use especially online tools to spread our message, and also, you know, in the mainstream media, you know, once things get popular online, sometimes they get popular on TV too. So, but we want to use, you know, I think a lot of us already use Facebook and Twitter, and you know, now I realize I probably need to get on Foursquare, but we want to encourage everybody to, if you don't have a Twitter account, maybe get one, and you know, find a theme that you want. Maybe you could be the DuPont Metro Democrat or whatever. You know, everybody's got a niche. So, you know, it's kind of like precinct captains in traditional politics. So, so we want to use social media a lot. We want to, you know, one of the great things about the Obama campaign was the use of My Barack Obama groups, which are pretty much Google groups. And, you know, I pretty much use Google Groups as a listserv now. But we want to encourage, whether it be a mass list of thousands of people or a group of 10 people all working on one specific project, we want to make sure that people are connecting online. And it's a great outreach tool, and it's a great communications tool. And in terms of outreach, we also need to talk about messaging. And I think a lot of people would probably agree that one thing that Democrats could use some help on is getting out their message communication-wise. And whether it, you know, I personally like to, my Twitter account is Forward Progressive, because I like to talk about being progressive. It's progress, it's moving forward. It's not necessarily left-wing. The don't ask, don't tell repeal. When 72% of the people support something, it's not progressive anymore, it's mainstream. So, yes, please clap that. So we don't want to talk about Glenn Beck anymore. We want to talk about our message, which is what we want is mainstream. We're not going to talk about Sarah Palin. Don't talk about Sarah Palin month, according to Dana Milbank in the Washington Post. But now, although I did have an anti-Bristol Palin watching party, which did get in the TV column of the Post, so I can say that. And we got more coverage than the Tea Party. It was it was more pro Jennifer Gray, and in my quotes in the newspaper I said we want merit to win. So, although we might want to confront people like in the Tea Party sometimes in our messaging, we really want to focus on getting out our message, which is merit should win. So, anyway, we need to think about messaging too, and everybody can contribute to letting us know, what do you think are the messages that work best in your community? So, in the future, who knows? A Network for Progress could wind up being Current TV, which now has Keith Olbermann, and is pretty dedicated to progressive or, you know, pro-Obama values. So, we have future in the media and social media messaging area. Of outreach, huh?
I can be on after Keith, Jim?
Yeah, hopefully I'll be on there. Okay. And one thing I just want to add that before I get into kind of my summary of this whole thing is so the importance of service. And by service, I don't necessarily mean public service. I mean also customer service. We need to reach out to people, and people who are, you know, on the Obama list has 13 million people. We need to reach out to those people individually. And when they come to an event, surprise them with a prize or whatever. Or be responsive to them when they have questions. One thing I've learned through coming to various events over the years, or reading different books, is there's a guy named Tony Hsieh who wrote a book called Delivering Happiness. And we could probably all learn in politics a lot about how we can apply delivering happiness to voters, volunteers, donors, etc. That kind of providing the wow factor where you're extra responsive to somebody who's willing to buy your product or vote for your candidate is really important to building relationships and get people coming back. So I just want to make a quick note about that as well. And that's an innovation from the technology community, Zappos.com, which you might have all brought shoes for. All right. Now I want to sum up by explaining. Okay, what's the big picture of all this? What is Network for Progress? Well, this has actually been kind of a 6-year journey for me, I think. In 2005, I learned that there was a chasm between the people who volunteer on campaigns and the people who are in part of the Democratic Party. And there was always a lot of people who dropped off the map after the campaign was over. And I found out with the Kerry campaign and Democracy for America was created by the Deniacs. Then in the Web campaign, there was the Web Brigades, which is a group of alumni of the Web campaign in Northern Virginia. And now we have a lot of Obama grassroots people. Some of them are not plugging into the Young Democrats or the Democratic Party. So one big reason why I find this group to be very important is that we can take the entrepreneurial aspects of the campaign universe and we can take the structure and the community building of the party and other organizations and kind of take the best of both worlds and bring them together. And so that's a big that's a dynamic that I think is very important, that we meet that need of having a permanent 24/7, 365 grassroots group that's focused on just bringing us together and keeping people plugged in no matter what time of the year, so they stay involved and they always have a place to go where they can have events that they can enjoy and hopefully stay, be active as well. Now, I want to read a quote to you. I know you didn't come here just for me. You came because you believe in what this country can be. Now, that's not just me speaking, because I know that you're not here for me. You're here to make a difference. But it was Barack Obama on this date, February 10, 2007. And that is another big reason why this group is important. Because not only do we want to get Barack Obama elected in 2012, we want to win the elections of 2011, say in Virginia, believe it or not, there are elections. We want to win the Senate race that is going to be very interesting in Virginia. We want to win congressional races. We want to win our school board races. We want to do community service. We want to do the Serve-a-thon coming up in April, or volunteer at the local food bank. There is a lot of ways that we can utilize this movement between now and Election Day 2012. And so it's not all about Barack Obama, it's not all about Network for Progress, it's about connecting us all together so we can make change right now and make it lead to 2012 and beyond. And we had the greatest coalition in history in 2012, and it hasn't gone away. 2008. And in 2010, for some reason, it didn't work so well. And so a big thing that we're going to focus on is how to make it work well. And I have a question for you. I want to hear a few ideas. Why do you think Barack Obama won in 2008? There's a few big, reasons. The economy, okay.
We hired Google to run his campaign.
Yeah, help from Google and also Facebook. Anything else?
Young people.
Young people. All right. Well. The reason why I bring that up is that John Kerry had a lot of the same reasons, a lot of the same differences on policy as George Bush, and George Bush was much worse than John McCain. And we still lost in 2004, but we won in 2008. And the reason why we did it is because of the movement. And it involved young people, it involved Facebook and Google, and it did have to do with the economy, but we had a war in 2004, and that didn't help us. So the movement is really the biggest thing that we need to focus on. I mean, as you may know, direct mail, phone calls, they move the meter about 1 to 2% in terms of getting more turnout. Door knocking is kind of like the holy grail of campaigns. It moves the meter about 10 to 12%. You get more turnout if you do door knocking. Well, where's the other 80 to 90%? Well, I'm pretty sure it has to do with relationships, and it has to do with the viral buzz you hear, say, in the media. The election in 2010 was not decided after Labor Day. It was decided before Labor Day. And the Tea Party was a big part of it. And so the reason why the movement is so important is that we want to affect people before they get that door knock, before they see the TV ad, before they get the phone call. We want to reach them early. And what that entails is things like the Will I Am video, the Progress, Shepherd Ferry mural, the MIBO groups, the meetups. That is the essence of the movement. And we need to focus on that because those are the things that affect that 80 to 90%. I bet a lot of you are Democrats because your parents are. That's because a relationship influenced you. Huh? Or you're rebelling against your parents. But it has to do with the relationships in your life. The door knock did not change that. And so I want to summarize by explaining a few good examples of movements. The Tea Party is one. Jon Stewart has one. Kristen Gillibrand credited